Hello, myself Muhammad Ayaz Khan. I am a science technology faculty at Next IAS, and we are here today. The purpose is to have a discussion on the science and technology questions asked in the mains 2021, eventually conducted in January 2022. So if you see, there were three questions in science from science and technology in paper 3. One question was about AS400 missile, then another was biotechnology research and development and how it is going to contribute in the upliftment of the weaker sections of the society, and third was about the blue LED and the impact it is having on the everyday life. So blue LED question, I think among the three, was the easiest to write, because here he was not asking you about to explain the working of blue LEDs or how the LEDs are being made. They were just asking the impact it had on the day-to-day life we have. So we will be starting the discussion. The first question, I will jot down the question, then I will tell you the areas where we need to have focused in those questions, and that's it. So question number, paper science and technology, mains 2021. So if we see, there was one question about S400, which was eventually question number 5. Question number 5, how S400 is sorry is technically superior to any other system presently available in the world. How S400 is technically superior to any other system presently available in the world. So it was a 150 words question and 10 marks as per the scheme of the things. So how S400 air defense system, let me complete it, air defense system. So like most of us will start, how to start this question. In this question, the first part should have been focused on the description of S400. Description of S400 means it is surface to air, which is also known as growler, which is also known as triumph. Okay, so these are some of the names. Rather, it is SA-21 growler, SA-21 growler. Okay. It has multiple types of missiles. It has multiple types of missiles having the range of 400 kilometer, 200 kilometer, 100 kilometer and 40 kilometer. And it can engage around 160 objects. 160 objects at a distance of 600 kilometer and 80 objects at a distance of 400 kilometer. Okay, basically this S400 provides protections. It provides protection against all possible aerial attacks. So now next paragraph we will go to, AS400 provides protection against all aerial attacks. Now those attacks could be by UAV, could be by cruise missile, could be by fighter jets. Okay, all, and actually basically it is used for anti-access area denial. means A to AD. Anti-access area denial means not allowing the enemy fighter planes come close. To provide protection to economic, political and military locations. So that is anti-access anti-access area denial. Obviously, this is the purpose of AS-400 against all possible aerial attacks, and more importantly, AS-400 can shoot down an aircraft while it is taking off. So it can shoot off an aircraft when it is looking to take off in the territory, well within the territory of the enemy, isn't it? So that we should have focused here, we should have brought over here. Then obviously we could have mentioned that it is having radar system. It is having radar system which engages the, which is obviously locates the vehicle. Then it is having a command vehicle. It has obviously missile firing units. And engagement vehicle. Now the question arises, why India is buying? See, India is buying for a simple reason, to have air defense system. Sir, air defense system, very simple. If tomorrow India will go for preemptive strikes, like Balakot, type of preemptive strikes, if India goes for, then what will happen? The response from the other side, and we all know the other side, they will be responding through the fighter planes. How to stop those fighter planes? To stop those fighter planes, we need AS-400, because AS-400 is considered as the best anti-aircraft system in the world. Isliye, that is the reason India is buying AS-400, and that's why, if you know, the first unit we are deploying, we are going to have 5 units of it, and they will cost us $5.5 billion US. And the first unit which we are receiving is deployed on the western border, and we all know the western border, which country we are talking about. Other thing, sir, why we need that? It is required for the simple reason, to fight a two-front war. We need 42 squadrons in our Air Force. Currently, presently, even if we stretch it, even if we count all those MiGs as well, we are struggling to touch 32. So we are well short. We are quite short in terms of squadrons over here. So if our fighter planes will be engaged in stopping the enemy fighter planes, then who will carry out air to ground strikes? So this air defense system will free up our fighter planes from obviously targeting the enemy aircraft, because it will target it, and our fighter planes will be free to carry out air to ground strikes at the enemy installations. That is the significance air defense system we are looking to have, okay, of AS-400. Now the next part, or rather the most important part in this question has been like how it is better, technically superior to the other similar systems in the world. So if we see AS-400, then Patriot of USA, then THAAD of USA, then Spider of Israel. Spider is surface to air, Python and Derby. Then Barak, no, it's not Obama. Barak is obviously surface to air missile of Israel, which India is buying. And we have our own Akash, surface to air missile. So first thing is the range. If we see the range here is 400 km. In case of Patriot, it is 180 km. In case of THAAD, maximum 200 kilometer. In case of a spider, 15 kilometer and 35 kilometer version. Barak, as of now, 60 to 70 kilometer. Akash, 25 kilometer. So in terms of range, it is superior. And if we see that compared to Patriot will take around 25 minutes to be launched. As 400 can be launched within 5 minutes. So time required to launch is much short. Okay, a Spider is low level quick reaction missile. Low level means as low as 20 feet. Obviously it can go up to 9 kilometer, 9,000 meter, but its range is on the shorter side. Here the range is much higher. It can go from, obviously, this, if you see the range part of AS400, that can go from, obviously, 100 feet to 40,000 feet. So it can go 100 feet to 40,000 feet. Okay, basically third, it can engage all sorts of aerial targets. All sorts of aerial targets, but these two are basically anti-ballistic missile system. Basically, anti-ballistic missile system. Anti-ballistic missile system. A third is about ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missile, and obviously intermediate range ballistic missile. That is their specialization. Here the specialization is anti-aircraft. One more important point is the cost. The cost is 500 million US dollar, and here in Patriot, which is a cheaper version, the cost was 1 billion US dollar. Okay, so that is a huge difference in terms of the cost of per battery. So fine. So these are the differences compared to this. Our Akash, obviously, it is good, but obviously it cannot engage as many objects as the this AS400 can engage. So then, obviously, the last paragraph you can write, it is about the CATSA related controversy over here, which is a US legislation providing for secondary sanctions on the countries looking to engage Iran, North Korea and Russia in defense and energy. But in this case, it's not about energy and it's not about North Korea and Iran, it is only about Russia. But as far as Indian Air Force is concerned, the impact AS400 will have for air defense system is worth facing those sanctions from the US. So that is the stuff we were supposed to focus in this particular question of AS400. So description, relevance, comparison, and then the controversy, that is with respect to CATSA. And then don't forget to write that China is already having has already deployed AS400 at 2 air bases in Tibet. Obviously, that we all know. If Tibet they have deployed, for whom they have deployed, and then 1 unit has been deployed in Taiwan, and that is not obviously for us, that is for someone else. Then Turkey has got it, and many other countries have shown the interest in similar systems. So AS400 has the ability to shoot down probably F-35 Lightning II, which is considered as one of the best fighter aircraft in the world. So that is why we are buying it. Okay, the narrative of the answer should have been strengthening the air defense system, and the narrative should have been that we are not looking for anti-ballistic missile system because we already have ballistic missile defense, where we have Ashwini, which is obviously advanced air defense, where we have Pradyuman, which is Prithvi air defense. We are basically looking for anti-aircraft, anti-UAV, anti-cruise missiles, and that is where AS400 fits the bill perfectly. Okay, fine. So this was AS400. Then we'll come to the next one, that is the biotech related question. It was obviously quite simple, straightforward question. What are the research and development achievements in applied biotechnology? This was question number, I think, 15. Yes, question number 15, paper 3. What are the research and development achievements? In biotechnology. This is the first part of the question. How will these achievements help to uplift the poorer sections of the society? How will these achievements helps in the upliftment of the poorer sections of the society? It was a 250 words question and 15 marks. 15 marks. So here, if we see this question, they are asking about the research and development achievement, not recent, in total. So in this question, the focus should have been, if we divide this, if I divide it, the first area I will be bringing is GM crops research. So GM crops research, sir, how come? Oh, come on. No, don't end up explaining GM crops and all. Transgenic crops you can write. Transgenic crops. Now obviously we need to tell the examiner what are the recent. So obviously the recent achievements here have been biofortified crops. Biofortified crops here, if you see, golden rice. Okay, golden rice, obviously it will be contributing in addressing the malnourishment among the children. So we'll see later. Okay, other than that, if we see here, you should write about how. Then you should bring here sustainable agriculture with the help of sustainable agriculture, biopesticides and all that. Then you should bring into the answer this thing, what we call climate smart agriculture. By giving the example of GM rice. GM rice developed by MS Swaminathan Research Foundation by transferring a gene from mangrove plant into rice so that it can have salinity tolerant. It can have the salinity tolerant. So this is one area you should tell the examiner, look, this is one area, GM crops. And other than GM crops, because we are not supposed to give only GM crops example, we should come to the other. Now I will tell you how it will help in the upliftment of the poorer sections of the society, but first let's address the first part. The second area of research and development has been genomics. Now genomics, if you see, genomics will take us towards obviously preventive care. Preventive care through gene testing. And it will reduce, obviously, that is preventive care, gene testing we can do. And if you see further, if you see that pharmacogenomics, and while writing the answer on pharmacogenomics, you should have given the example of IndiGene project of CSIR. and Genome India project of Department of Biotechnology. Okay, so then other than that, if you see genomics, we have seen this genome editing, which is based on CRISPR-Cas9. That is one more area of the research, genomics, genome editing. Then if you see in biotechnology, healthcare has been one of the biggest beneficiary. Now healthcare, if we say, we have seen pandemic response. Now pandemic response in two ways. First, the vaccines, whether it is Covaxin, Covishield or Pfizer, Moderna, and the second is the diagnostic kits or the test, RT-PCR, Feluda, rapid antigen test, rapid antibody test, CB-NAT, TrueNAT. So this way, and then one more thing you should focus is animal genomics. Animal genomics. Like in India, we have a genomics chip. Genomics chip for the named Indigo, for the cattles and all. Cattle genomics, here you can bring cloning by National Dairy Research Institute, Karnal. Then obviously this should be the more focus. So obviously the first part we should have this. These are the recent developments. Research and development focus on transgenic crops. It is focusing on genomics. It is focusing on healthcare related vaccines. Obviously pandemic response, you can say genome sequencing of virus, here you can give example of INSACOG. So just imagine now in days time we were able to find out Omicron, how Omicron is different from Delta and all, and the credit goes to the genome sequencing here. So obviously genome sequencing you can link it here also, but as we are talking about healthcare, the pandemic response, that is, these are like the four dimensions. If I would have been writing the answer, I will be exploring in this particular question, because the question seems to be very general, generic, but in such questions the answer has to be very, very concentrated. It should not look like that you have written casually, because then only, and moreover it's a 15 marker. So now listen here, let's focus on the second part of the question, upliftment. Upliftment, see, pest resistant or drought tolerant or herbicide tolerant transgenic crops will increase the productivity, and that will help our small and marginal farmers. Here you should give the example of BT cotton. When we adopted BT cotton, the productivity was 191 kilogram per hectare. Now it is 477 kilogram per hectare. Yes, I agree there are controversies associated with BT cotton, but here again we are not here to discuss the controversies. They are asking you how it will help in upliftment. Okay. Second, transgenic crops can contribute, let me give you, in National Food Security Mission. Okay, like if we can have golden rice. Golden rice will help in reducing child wasting. Okay, inclusive growth. Inclusive growth is not only about, so it will enhance the income, it will obviously, and one more way transgenic crops can help us is having drought tolerant, salt tolerant, water tolerant crops to make our agriculture climate proof. So climate proof agriculture we can have, that will reduce the vulnerability of our small and marginal farmers. So that should be the narrative in this first particular question. Okay, first part of the question. Second question, if we see second part, I was focusing on genomics. See the genomics, how genomics will help. Obviously genomics will help in a manner where we can ensure affordable health care. For all, universal health care. Obviously genomics, obviously how it can help in reducing the disease burden by providing better diagnostic tools like gene testing. Genomics will take us towards personalized medicine, means precision treatment. But before you raise the doubt, I'll tell you, obviously some support has to be provided by the government in this particular in such things, because obviously many people won't be able to pay 5,000 rupees for the gene test to be done, and then the treatment is separate. So that obviously that can be subsidized, government can go for compulsory license and all that. And obviously genomics has helped in the better designing of the drugs, better designing of the drugs. So this is it. Genomics, we will focus on 3-4 points about it. Then obviously if we see the pandemic response, the third part, pandemic response. If we are able to find out the variant, that is because of the genome sequencing we did. Okay, and if we were able to come up with Covaxin and Covishield, that is also credit goes to. But sir, how it is upliftment? Obviously these vaccines were given free of cost to the poorer sections. Okay, so they were provided by the government. So Covaxin, Covishield. Obviously Covishield, you say sir, it was not done by that is okay, but Covaxin is completely indigenous vaccine. So at least you can write that example. Okay, Corbevax, Novavax. Now we have so many vaccine options over there. Okay, so we are doing genome sequencing. That is obviously helping in the identification of the variants and all. We have the vaccines which are indigenously developed, and obviously that's the reason we have been successful in vaccinating so many people. That includes some of the poorest sections of the society, and that to me is one more example of Antyodaya or inclusive growth, bringing all the sections into the mainstream. And then fourth, obviously cattle genomics. Cattle genomics will help us in improving the breed, obviously they'll give more milk and all that. And this is obviously you can link the cloning as well. Cloning, which was done by National Dairy Research Institute. And one more thing, you can write the conclusion that biotechnology in India can be one of the important sectors contributing in quality research, thereby allowing our private sector to export the latest medicines and the vaccines, and thereby contributing in the overall development of the nation. This is where you should stop it, isn't it? So this was the biotechnology question. Yes, the questions were a bit generic. Okay, and to be very frank, you expect obviously questions to be more specific rather than to be so generic, but then that's how it is. Fine. Now the next question, the last one for the science and technology, question number 16, is about LEDs, and not LEDs. It is about blue LED Nobel Prize of 2014 was given to three scientists, Amano, Nakamura, and one more scientist was there, Japanese one, that is Amano, Nakamura and Akasaki. And how this blue LED invention, has impacted everyday life. So how blue LED invention has impacted everyday life. So in this question, the first paragraph, if you are looking towards the solution, then obviously we have to start that we were having red and green LEDs. The invention of blue LED allowed white light to be produced from LEDs, white light. So the contribution in the production of white light, as far as this particular question is concerned. So green and red were already there, but there was no blue light. So in the absence of, by developing blue LED to go with green and red, obviously versions, they made it possible to create white light. Okay sir. अब ये तो एक बात होगी. This is the first part of it. The second question, the second part is the impact. Impact here. The first impact you will write is with respect to, just write that LED bulb, LED bulb versus obviously incandescent bulb. So LED bulb are more efficient, longer life compared to incandescent. So obviously that is it. Second thing you should write the impact. This blue LED, obviously allowed the development of touch screens, LEDs, OLEDs, the touch screens, for smartphones, our obviously computer screens, and obviously just see the impact it has in the digitization, online education. So that is one impact we had. the other side of it, that these LEDs are a part of providing efficient lighting to the poorer sections of the society. Example, Ujala of India, which is also known as DELP, domestic efficient, also known as DELP, domestic efficient lighting program. Then this, listen here, this one more thing, you need to link, third point, this was third point, you need to link it with this LEDs, with the, I am writing here, with the solar lamp program we are having. Means in a way, these LEDs have allowed us to provide access to the lighting system to the poorer sections of the society in a way that is a good development in any sense you take it. Okay, plus you write, it has allowed us to provide lighting systems for our industrial setups. And in industrial setups, the consumption of electricity in lighting system is much more than domestic setups. And one more thing, as the LEDs are energy efficient compared to the older technologies we were having, this has allowed us to reduce the carbon footprint. Carbon footprint. Solar lighting system, like as you know, Cochin Airport is fully solar powered, isn't it? So they are also using LEDs and all, and as a result, you know, the carbon footprint of the lighting system has come down over there. That is okay, wonderful. But at the other side, as the question is about impact, now impact obviously can be both positive and the negative. These are all positives associated. अच्छी बात है, सबको white light मिल रहा है and this and that. But what about this digital addiction which is there, and what about the ultraviolet light coming from the LED impacting the skin, and as I was reading few days back, could be affecting even the eyes, and retina could be damaged by the ultraviolet light coming from the LEDs. That is obviously and could be skin pigmentation and could be skin cancer also. So the possible side effects also we need to write. Possible side effects. Possible side effects like the impact on skin, okay, impact on eyesight, digital addiction, especially among the children, which is affecting their motor skills. If you see, most of the children, especially during the pandemic, they are most of the time glued to the smartphones or to the tablets or to the iPads, and their motor skills means their ability to hold onto the pencil, to draw and all, they have got compromised, and which is affecting their cognitive abilities also. Cognitive abilities like, American Psychiatric Association has come up with a disorder called internet addiction disorder. American Psychiatric Association has come up with internet addiction disorder, and in some parts of our country we are already having digital detoxification clinics. So that is also a possible social impact. So how to deal with this, that's obviously a different question altogether. So this was my humble effort to discuss the the narratives we would have tried to build in our answer if you're writing such questions as 400 or biotech and this one. So wish you best when your result comes out, and hope you get whatever you're desiring for in this exam and beyond that. So from my side, best of luck. Okay, thank you very much for watching the video.